I always thought the hardest part of losing my dad was the funeral, watching them lower his coffin into the ground while my heart shattered in ways I didn't know were possible. But grief is tricky. It doesn't end with a burial. It lingers, hiding in the little things, waiting to ambush you at random moments. My dad wasn't perfect, but he was my world. He taught me how to ride a bike in our driveway, helped me with math homework at the kitchen table, and sat beside me on the couch every Friday night to watch movies. Our house wasn't just walls and a roof. It was the storybook of our lives, filled with the echoes of his laughter and the warmth of his presence. When he passed away unexpectedly, I clung to that house like a lifeline. And when the lawyer read his will, I felt both heartache and gratitude. He left me the house. He made sure, even in death, that I would always have a place to belong. I was only 19 at the time, still trying to figure out adulthood, but that inheritance gave me a sense of security I desperately needed. It wasn't about money. It was about memory, about love, about having one piece of him left in this world. My mom, who had always been distant after the divorce, seemed fine with it. She didn't protest when the will was read. She even hugged me and said Dad would have been proud. I believed her. I trusted her. And maybe that's why the betrayal cut so deep when I discovered what she had done. It started on a Tuesday afternoon, months after the funeral. I pulled up to the house after class, expecting the same quiet comfort, but instead I was greeted by strangers. A moving truck sat in the driveway, men carrying boxes inside. At first, I thought I had the wrong address, or maybe there was some mistake. But then I saw the sold sign planted in the yard. My heart dropped into my stomach. Confused and panicking, I rushed inside only to find my mom calmly directing the movers, as if this was just another day. I demanded to know what was going on, my voice cracking with disbelief. She looked at me like I was overreacting and casually explained that she had sold the house. Just like that. No discussion. No warning. I was frozen in shock. "You can't do that!" I shouted, my hands trembling. "Dad left this house to me. It's mine." She sighed as if I was a child throwing a tantrum and said she had every right because she was my mother, and I was too young to handle such responsibility. She justified it by saying she needed the money that would help with bills and give us a fresh start. But to me, it wasn't about money or responsibility. It was about betrayal. It was about my father's final wish being erased with a signature and a handshake. It was about the only piece of him I had left being ripped away from me without my consent. That night, the house was no longer mine. I packed a bag and sat in my car, crying harder than I had since the funeral. It felt like losing my dad all over again. Only this time, the wound was inflicted by the person who was supposed to protect me. The betrayal spread through me like poison. How did she do this? This wasn't her house to sell. It wasn't her memory to erase. Relatives found out soon enough, and the family exploded into chaos. Some took her side, saying she was struggling financially, that as my mother she was entitled to make decisions for my future. Others defended me, saying it was wrong, that she had stolen from her own child. My aunt called me late at night, whispering that she believed Mom had always been bitter about Dad leaving me the house instead of her. Suddenly, every smile, every comforting word after his death felt like a mask she had worn while plotting behind my back. I confronted her again, this time shaking with rage. I screamed that she had no right, that she had destroyed Dad's legacy. She snapped back, her voice full of venom, telling me I was ungrateful, that I didn't understand how hard life had been for her since the divorce. She claimed she had sacrificed everything to raise me, and that selling the house was her payment for those years. My chest tightened with anger and disbelief. Payment? Was I just a debt to her? Was my father's love something she could cash in like a check? The confrontation escalated until we were both shouting over each other. She accused me of choosing Dad over her, even in death, as if I was supposed to side with her betrayal. I accused her of stealing from me, of spitting on Dad's memory. For a moment, I thought she might hit me. The fury in her eyes was so sharp. Instead, she stormed out, leaving me in the empty kitchen where Dad once made pancakes on Saturday mornings. I felt like a stranger in my own life. That night, I stayed with a friend, replaying everything in my mind, searching for some shred of justification that would make this easier to swallow. But there wasn't one. My mom had sold the house for quick money, and in doing so, she had broken something between us that could never be repaired. I tried to move on, but the bitterness lingered. Whenever I saw family members who sided with her, they looked at me with pity, like I was a spoiled kid clinging to a house instead of understanding real-world problems. They didn't get it. It wasn't just a house. It was Dad's voice echoing in the halls, the smell of his cologne lingering in his room, the memories of a life that no amount of money could buy back. And now it was gone, parceled out to strangers who would never know or care what it meant. Months later, the fallout hasn't ended. My relationship with my mom is fractured, maybe beyond repair. She insists she did the right thing, that I'll thank her someday when I understand. But every time I think about her smile as she directed the movers, my stomach churns. I don't see a mother protecting her child. I see someone who robbed me, who took the one thing my dad wanted me to have and sold it for her own benefit. And so, I'm left with this gnawing question that I can't answer on my own. Was I wrong for being furious at her? Should I try to forgive because she's my mom and maybe she was desperate? Or should I accept that she betrayed me and cut her out of my life, no matter how much it hurts? I know blood ties are supposed to mean something, but what happens when the person who gave you life also destroys the pieces of it you hold most dear? I can't undo what she did. I can't get the house back. All I can do is sit here, writing this story, and ask strangers on the internet for clarity. Am I the villain for not forgiving her? Or is she the one who destroyed everything by turning my father's last gift into nothing more than cash in her pocket?